Taylor in that.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm here with my wife, Dr. Alicia. How you doing today, babe?
I'm kind of tired and sore today. How are you doing?
Doing good. You ran 10 miles this morning.
I did 10 this morning because I'm getting ready for the Chicago half next week.
You're
Yay.
training for the half in 1 week?
Yeah, but if I do 10 miles, since I did 10 miles today, I am psychologically and physically ready to go.
Well, if
I'm
anybody
ready.
if anybody wants to know what I was doing while my wife was running 10 miles this
What were
morning,
you doing?
I was snoring.
I wanted you to do at least the last four with me, and then you just look kind of off into space like, no way.
Yeah, I wasn't interested.
Why you falling off on the running schedule, boys?
No, I'd rather be invited to a Diddy party.
Diddy party? Well, ain't no party like a Diddy party.
Apparently so. You see how many? Did you? I saw a commercial from 1998 where they were marketing a Diddy party, and in this commercial, they had every celebrity you could think
Oh
of.
my
All
God.
these people talking about how great a Diddy party was. Chris Rock, Will Smith. I guess they were collaborating back then instead of slapping each other. You had some white people in there. I can't remember if it was like Meryl Streep types or people like that. Yeah, just
Real. So
a lot.
now ain't nobody got nothing to say now.
I
They
know,
all
right?
quiet.
I know. I mean, these parties were attended by so Rihanna down to Jay-Z, Beyonce, of course, and a lot of other famous people. And now they're all like completely silent.
They haven't said anything. What are they doing now? Do you think they're just like nobody's calling anybody, or you think everybody's calling each other, going, "Oh crap,
I don't
what's
think they're
coming
calling
up?"
each other. I think that they're just sitting there and they're hoping that the whole shabam of just in the entertainment industry and
Uh
all the
huh.
debauchery that happens never gets discovered.
Well, it doesn't seem like 50 Cent
50 Cent
is part
is,
of the whole
yeah,
thing.
he's kind of showing he's an outsider to the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really been vocal about it. So it's kind of interesting to see that. And I wonder how that's going to end up for him. But anyway, guys, can y'all hear us? Give us a quick yes if you can hear us okay. Let us know if the audio's coming through all right. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. This is my wife, Dr. Alicia. And we have a show called Pillow Talk where we're two professors who believe in intelligent, fun conversations. And we like to lay against our pillows and just talk a little bit crazy. So if you can hear us, give us a quick yes in the chat to let me know that we're coming through all right. Hello, Ayana. Shout out your city, please. Melanin Rich Convo. I see Riley Forrest. I think I saw Brandon King from Philadelphia. Miss Bird, Joanne Dixon. Good to see you. Joyce, how you doing, Joyce? Good to see you. Darlene and Kimberly Logan. And Riley's out of Memphis. Shout out to Memphis. I love Memphis. All right, so let's hop into this. All right, so babe. All right, so did you hear about what happened with Adrian Peterson, the former NFL star who played for the Minnesota Vikings? Did y'all hear about that?
No, I did not hear about it, but I'm so ready for you to tell me all about it.
Okay, so Adrian Peterson, apparently he had to surrender his assets. They came into his house and took a bunch of his stuff. And the reason they took a lot of his stuff is because he owed about $12 million in a loan. Now, Adrian Peterson was just literally one of the most talented running backs in the history of the NFL, not just in the NFL period. I mean, the history of the NFL.
What did he play for Detroit?
He played for the Vikings.
Oh,
And
maybe I'm getting him mixed up with someone else. Okay.
yeah, and your boy, he signed a 7-year, $96 million deal in 2011. And apparently, this has been kind of the talk of space. I saw Shannon Sharp even addressed it, which was surprising to hear an athlete really talk about this. But they literally he literally spent all his money. And what Sharp brought up, which I thought was interesting, was he said that Adrian went and borrowed money, got a big loan so he could have a big birthday party and fly everybody into the party first class.
Okay, wait. He got items taken away from him because he borrowed money after
Yes.
having this big deal. So he didn't have any money at all. And he's gonna take whatever money he can borrow and he's gonna throw a big bash.
I don't know
Is
if
that what
I don't.
happened?
That's kind of how it almost sounded. Like I'd have to double check, but it sounded like Sharp was basically saying he borrowed the money for the party. Oh, but I know he said he did borrow money for a birthday party. Now I don't know if that particular loan was for the party or not, but I do know that if you have a party and you're flying everybody in first class, that's not gonna be cheap. You're gonna
Well,
be spending in the hundreds of thousands, maybe over $1 million for that.
do we know that he borrowed that money specifically for a party, or he borrowed that money and then he threw a party?
No,
Like, is it connected
right.
to each other, or
That
do
part
we?
I don't know, but I
Who did
do.
he borrow money from?
He bought it from a bank. I don't know what the bank is. and he borrowed it. He borrowed 12. I want to say it was, it was a big loan. And what happened was, I for some reason I heard the $12 million number, but I think the loan was like for 5 million. And then what happened was he was paying the loan off. It was 7.5% interest. I remember that. And then he just stopped paying. So
Oh.
when he stopped paying, they basically knew that he had a lot of assets in his possession. Like they knew he had a lot of stuff in his house. So they went to his house and took all his stuff.
Oh my goodness. Mm-mm. That's what he gets.
Well,
That's what he gets for taking out that money
well, you know
and
what?
not being able to pay it back. What's going on?
Well, you know it's interesting because it kind of fits into like this consistent trend of athletes losing all their money. A lot of athletes go broke. A lot of athletes. It's fascinating how many athletes are trained to play sports really well and trained to be disciplined when it comes to sports. But there's something about athlete culture which overlaps. It overlaps with entertainment culture. The same culture that took Diddy down, in my opinion, to some extent, is similar to the culture that takes a lot of athletes down. And it's sort of like this overlap in terms of extravagance
Well, the
and
culture,
irresponsibility.
yeah, the culture guides the way in which he spends his money, but he feels like for him to have a birthday party, he needs to actually like pay people to come to his birthday party.
Perhaps.
So he's spending all of his money trying to impress all of these individuals.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, or maybe not impress, or maybe just maybe impress is the word, or it could just be maintaining an image.
Well, it's his birthday party.
Right.
So shouldn't people be coming, paying to come to your birthday party?
Um, Not if you're Adrian Peterson, apparently.
Is he friends with a lot of broke people who can't afford? He got to conjure up his own guest list of individuals. Like, can't people buy their own? Isn't he friends with other football players
I don't know.
that can come to his birthday party? Why does he have to pay for everything? Like, I don't understand why people take on the responsibilities of something that is outside of their responsibilities. And
I
what's wrong with your self-esteem that you feel like,
mm,
aren't you good enough? Aren't you good enough to throw a party and people love you and they want to be around you? So they want to come to your birthday party. It'd be scrambling to get in your birthday party.
maybe, or then again, maybe it's because he felt like because he's the leader, he was a leader in the NFL. He was one of the he was I think he was MVP one year, right? So maybe sometimes, like I could see like an Elon Musk or somebody doing that, right? I could see a Jeff Bezos
Yeah, but
flying
Elon
everybody.
Musk and Jeff Bezos, they're not going to spend their last penny on a birthday party.
No, right, right, and that's the culture that I talk about, and I talk about this culture a lot, and some people get it, some people don't, but there's an overlap. I mean, it's not a coincidence that at the same time we're talking about this, you also see another wealthy black man going broke named Diddy, and he had his own type of debauchery in terms of irresponsible behavior. But it's similar in the sense that like there's always been an overlap between hip hop culture and athlete culture. That's why you see rappers and athletes becoming friends. You'll see, you might see, well, you see Mike Tyson and Tupac hanging out together, or you'd see Jay Z and LeBron James, right? So again, it doesn't mean every athlete thinks that way because Jay Z and LeBron they clearly have kept their money, but there's a lot there in terms of examining like what makes a guy think that when I get my $10 million signing bonus, first thing I'm supposed to do is run to the strip club.
Well, he wasn't running to the strip club. We don't want to know. We don't know about that.
Mhm.
But the thing is, it's not necessarily his decision to do this in that way. So the culture probably drives how he spends his money. But what I'm saying is, underneath it, what would drive him to even want to say, I'm going to have this party and I want all these people to be there, and they're just not going to be there on their own free will. I'm going to make sure that I remove all the stops for the reason why people would be there to celebrate me and the birth of me.
Yeah, well, it
That's
is.
what I don't understand.
Okay, I can see that, right? And I definitely agree. Like when you talk about the research that says, talks about like keeping up with the Joneses or maintaining a certain image. And what happens, I think, with a lot of athletes, especially those that make a lot of money, is there is this expectation that you maintain the image that you are the rich guy, that you are the guy who's got all the money. You're the guy who's the baller. You're the one who's you want to show that for the ladies. You want to show that for other men. And it does become very costly. And but it doesn't just happen to athletes. I know black people who went to Harvard who feel
Mhm,
like because
right.
they went to Harvard and they got a good job working for the federal government as an attorney that they're supposed to always pay for dinner. They're supposed to drive a certain car. They're supposed to wear certain clothes, live in a certain kind of house. So there is that keeping up with the Joneses, sort of maintaining the image that can become a financial pressure for a lot of people.
Yeah, and then keeping up with the Joneses. What is that? Why do you need that external validation that you are just as great and successful? I mean, people who are great and successful, they're meek. I mean, look at you. You don't shop at, the high-end stores all the time, boys.
No, no, I
Not as
don't.
much as I would want you to.
Well,
Like, come on,
yeah,
let's get some good stuff for you. Like,
no,
you don't focus on that. So, I mean, I don't know. It just kind of lends itself to I want to keep this image. I want to look a certain way. Let's just be this power couple and let's go and spend all this money on stupid stuff
yeah,
where
yeah.
it just doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. By the way, guys, you're listening to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. This is my wife, Dr. Alicia. And in case you wonder why we sound like a couple of nerds, it's because we partly are, but I think nerdy is the new cool because we our goal is to be educated and to be smart and to have fun and to love each other. We believe in black love, black family, black wealth, and all these other things. My wife is a licensed therapist, a certified trauma specialist, and also a full professor of social work. If you'd like to get a free e-copy of my book, Financial Lovemaking, we believe in things that relate to love and money because a lot of people are complaining about money in their relationships, who they want to date, how much money they should have, and all this other stuff. Well, I did write a whole book about it. So if you want to get a copy, a free copy, you can go to boyceandalicia.com. And also, Dr. Alicia has gotten together with a group of other black therapists because
Oh,
y'all know our people need some help. And so what she's doing is mental health Mondays. I mean, give me a yes if you agree that we can work on our mental health. If you'd like to be invited to Mental Health Mondays and hang out with the other therapists on Monday night, just it's totally free to the community. Just text the word love to the number 87948. So text love to 87948 and we'll send you an invitation. Now, our topic for today is Adrian Peterson, the former NFL star who is now retired, who recently had all of his assets repossessed, apparently, or a big chunk of them anyway,
mm.
over an unpaid debt. And let me give you some history on Peterson. You know, I'm a big football fan, so I followed Peterson for a very long time. And let me just tell you, this brother was so talented. He was such a great player. I mean, he was one of the best. He was one of the best of all times, without a doubt. And so anyway, he had a couple of problems. One year, he ended up getting suspended, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for alleged child abuse.
Yeah, so
Uh,
he does play for Detroit.
No, well, he might have. He
He
does.
play.
I don't think he played for Detroit, but he did play for a lot of different
I don't know
teams.
why that name is so associated with Detroit for
He
me.
played for the Washington Commanders, I know, for a while, and I know he played for the Minnesota Vikings.
I remember when
Other,
that story came out.
yeah, yeah, and I didn't like it, because I didn't feel like he was really trying to hurt his child. I think he was disciplining him the way maybe he was disciplined, but we know that there's a conversation we had about that. But here's the thing: let's talk about his finances and his children. Now, guess how many kids he's got?
I don't know how many children is he.
When I checked, he allegedly has 8 kids with 6 women.
8 kids with 6 women.
Yes,
Oh my.
and when I heard
Oh
that,
boy.
I said all I heard was
Oh.
cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Mm-mm.
Cash registers going off. Kids are expensive, especially if you having kids with women who hang out with NFL players. If you having a bunch of kids, 8 kids with 6 women, brother, you are asking for trouble. You better hope that you can play in the NFL till you're 77 years
Eight
old.
kids with 6 women. Like, I don't know. To me, that just comes across as so sloppy to me.
Well, you know what it is?
I just remember, like, if I met a guy who had like all those kids all over the place and I knew about it before I started dating them, I would be like, that's the sloppiest person in the world. Like, why would you just keep doing that? Like, that tells me about the mentality of somebody that just wouldn't coalesce with me, you know?
Well, I wouldn't call it sloppy per se.
Ah,
Because like Wayne says, I agree with Wayne. Wayne says we all make mistakes. We shouldn't judge him, and it's not to judge him. It's really more so about being strategic about your life, right? Like, everybody talks about Planned Parenthood as it pertains to, whether or not you're going to terminate a pregnancy. But Planned Parenthood should be a term used by all of us when we're talking about planning how you want to create a family.
family planning, yes.
Yeah, family
Hmm.
planning. I mean, it's critical, right? Like, so what it speaks to me is maybe I don't know, sloppy might be the perfect word, or
So
I think
that's
I
if
think
I was dating somebody, am I back? I know back
right.
long time ago when I was dating. And I never really met anybody who had that sort of situation, but that's what would come through my mind. I'd be like on the phone with my girlfriend, girl, he's sloppy. He got kids all over the place. I can't deal with that. Like that would be not to say that was the healthiest thing, because at that time I didn't have any children. So I don't know. I didn't know what was going on. But that's probably one thing. Like he gonna try to knock me up and leave me. I'll be like, baby mama number six. Like at your patterns, that would be one thing I would think about.
Yeah, I think another word you could use in addition to sloppy might be impulsive, right?
Yeah.
Impulsive, right? Like, think about it. And this is where I try to warn a lot of young brothers about this. Of course, some listen, some don't. Is that, when you're young and you're the man, Adrian Peterson was a man among men. You're a star in the NFL, you're dominating other men. So that's going to attract female attention for sure. And the way the devil gets you is he can suck you in to make you think that you're always going to be all powerful, that you can do whatever you want. Similar to Diddy, I think that the devil in Diddy made him think he was above the law. He could just get away with whatever he wanted to do, but then life catches up with you. And what the reason I say it's unstrategic is because children are very expensive. When you have six separate households that you're going to then be responsible for, because you are the cash cow. You're the one that signed the $100 million contract. Nobody else. Then that's going to create a fixed cost in your life, not a variable cost. Not a variable cost is a cost where it's going to go down automatically if you don't have as much money. A fixed cost is where you're just paying that consistently, And so, in my view, where a lot of athletes get busted is they create these fixed costs through child support while they're
Mm.
athletes, and then when they retire, they get body slammed because children are really expensive. And it's not just athletes. I know a lot of brothers 38 years old can't even start a family because they got so many babies mamas to take care of, and that can just really drain you financially and really kill your ability to really build wealth in the future.
I'm just thinking about how much is enough? When do you have enough money? When do you have enough friends? When do you have enough women to sleep with? When do you have enough children to be had? He almost seems like somebody where there's never enough.
Mm,
There's never enough, because if you have the mentality of somebody who will throw this birthday party and have somebody come and cheer you up, oh, he's a jolly good fellow, it dies slowly because it's artificial. It's like you've created this artificial thing in this, I don't want to say fantasy, but you've created this artificial thing. It should be enough already. Like, okay, you're a good athlete. You've accomplished all of these wonderful things, but get the impression based on some of the decisions that you're telling me that he's making that he's empty.
um,
And he's looking for all of these things to fill him up. I want to have these kids to make, if I have to just have one more child, then I'll be complete and whole. If I throw this birthday party where everybody comes and they celebrate me and they're having a fun time, then I'm going to feel like I'm worthy. And then the party is over and they leave. And then you're just left with yourself. Like that tells you how not feeling totally secure and not feeling whole can drive you to make just silly financial decisions,
mm,
where you'll just go into debt and bankruptcy because you spent all your money trying to impress people and get people to like you when you don't even like you.
interesting. Well, I don't know. I'll tell you what. So Michaela says that Adrian's currently married. He's been married since 2014. I think that's great.
That is
I
wonderful.
think the challenge though is that when you get married and you're like, by the way, here's me and my 8 kids, or my,
Well, maybe they're just one
or
big
maybe
happy family,
no, or maybe he had kids after the marriage. Maybe let's assume
He got married and had kids
yeah,
with the
what I
wife.
saw
Okay.
online was that he has six babies mamas, right? And so
Oof,
let's assume his wife is one of them, one of the mothers of his children.
Lord.
So it's like, so when the wife marries him, she's not marrying him. She's marrying him and his five other wives, his five other women,
Okay,
right?
okay,
Right.
that's okay.
Yeah, well, because there's five other people that are going to be taking money out of your house, right?
Well,
Significant amounts, like a million, hundreds of thousands a year. Like one mother got pregnant and she literally went to court and asked for millions of dollars to raise the child and pay for prenatal care and everything else, right? So
well, look, you don't want to be this big time um NFL football player and have your kids projects. I mean,
Right.
you're not going to want that for your children. Like if I made a lot of money, I would want my children, even if it didn't work out with the other partner, I would want them to not suffer. I'm sitting around flying first class and putting people in for my birthday party. Meanwhile, my kids is in the projects hungry. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Well, by the way, everybody, really quick, you're watching Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and
Yeah.
Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. This is my wife, Dr. Alicia. Dr. Alicia is a licensed therapist and a full professor of social work. If you'd like to check out what she does, you can go to coachingwithdralicia.com. I see some people are saying that Adrian Peterson could use counseling from us. Well, number one, I'm not hard to find. I've been talking about black wealth and talking to brothers for 15 years now. So I'm right here. And then also, if you want to make an appointment with Dr. Alicia and get help with some issues, she sees a lot of clients. So you can go to coachingwithdralicia.com and feel free to make an appointment with her if you'd like to talk to her directly. All right, so let's get back to Adrian Peterson. In terms of just talking about this, first off, I don't really want to dance on anybody's grave. Like I'm not out here trying to make fun of him or belittle his situation or say ha ha I told you so. Um and I did see someone I agree with Wayne a lot. You said counseling would help him a lot. And I put up Dr. Alicia's URL up there. And if he does see this video, if Adrian sees this and he wants to make an appointment with Alicia and
After I called him sloppy, he probably like, man, forget
well,
that
no, you
lady.
you didn't call. Well, you're not calling him sloppy.
No, I
You're
didn't, but
you're
he'll
you're saying
probably say,
well you're saying that perhaps that's not the best way to live your life, and I agree with that.
yeah.
And he could talk to both of us. I'd sit down and talk to him together with you. And here's the thing, but here's the part that, here's the thing though. There's plenty of people out here that could tell you, if you get all this money, here's what you do with it. Like anybody, a lot of people could tell you this. That check this out. Imagine if Adrian Peterson pay attention, y'all. I want y'all to hear this because I need you to tell your sons, because some of y'all got sons that are great athletes that are going to be sucked into the culture. Here's the deal. Imagine if Adrian Peterson, he was making about 12 million a year, approximately. So imagine if he said, yo, look, I want to live my life, I want to enjoy my money. I know the IRS and my agents and everybody's going to take half of that. So I'm only going to have about 6 or 7 million a year that's going to be mine, right? Pay attention now. So imagine if he said, I'm gonna party like a rock star. I'm gonna waste $4 million a year. I'm gonna literally take 4 million and flush it down the toilet. I can put it in stripper thongs. I can throw it off the side of a boat. I can go buy a Maserati every week. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to do, and ain't y'all gonna tell me nothing. Now imagine this. Pay attention. So imagine if he said, but the last 3 million. I'm going to give that to somebody I trust who's going to, not an expert, not a financial expert, somebody I trust, like my grandma, my mama, my daddy, my uncle, and I'm going to have him put the money in the S&P 500. Pay attention. I need y'all to hear this.
Why you have to give it to your mama though?
Whoever the hell, my
Okay.
girl, my
Just
daughter,
open an account and put it
what,
in there. Okay, I
listen,
got it.
I'm making a point.
Well,
I'm
go
making a damn
ahead.
point.
But I don't know why he has to give it to
I'm
somebody.
making a point. Listen, woman.
Nobody's stopping you.
All
Go
right, so here
ahead.
we go. All right, so pay attention now. Do y'all know that if literally somebody had taken 3 million a year of his money and put it into the S&P 500, even if they randomly picked stocks, even if they knew nothing about stock picking, they only picked from the S&P 500. Do you know? Guess how much money he would have in 40 years in retirement, but in terms of the legacy he could
Oh,
leave his children?
it would more than triple. I'm
It
certain.
would be over $1 billion.
Yeah,
It would be
I
over. It
agree.
would
I
be
agree with
over
that.
$1 billion. So here's what I want y'all to hear, and I need y'all to go play this part of the video for any knuckleheads in your family who think that you have to make a choice between enjoying your money and investing your money. That is not true. This man did not lose $100 million. Let's be clear. He didn't lose 100 million. He lost about 1.2 billion. You lost 1.2 billion because you didn't. It's almost like if a pregnant woman gets killed, it's not one person that died, and it's not two people that died. It's all the people that would have come from those people that died. Do you understand?
Hmm.
Everybody who died in this, if this pregnant woman is pregnant with a baby girl
Yeah,
and they die, or even a boy, you're not just taking the lives of the two people in front of you. You're losing the lives of everybody that would have come from them. It's a
the
genocide. The
lineage.
lineage,
Uh
it's a
huh.
genocide. Right? Money has a lineage, just like a
Yes.
human being does. So this was a financial genocide.
Mm-hmm.
Your family, your children, your great grandchildren could have lived off of that money for the next 250 years.
The
All of,
interest.
right, all of that's
Yeah.
dead because you're trying to have glamorous birthday parties and don't understand balance, man. So anybody who advises the athletes on money can't just advise them on money. You got to advise them on the culture. That's what I've been trying to make. That's the point I've been making for years, and I'm trying to get somebody to hear this. It ain't just about telling them where to put the money, the 401ks and IRAs. Plenty of people can tell you that. They know this stuff. They got advisors around them. There's little Jewish guys they hire. They know all about preserving money because they preserve their own.
Yeah, they're the best ones
Exactly.
to know how to do
The
that.
problem is that you're not addressing the cultural underpinnings that will lead a man to say, I'm going to spend money until I have absolutely nothing left. That indicates a psychological issue, a mental health issue. That's
Mhm.
not just bad money management.
Yeah. So you're pointing to culture, and I think I've made that distinction even in this conversation, right? So how do we distinguish the difference between him and how he feels about himself, his emptiness inside, filling it up with all of these external validation from people coming to his party and having all of these children and all of these things that's like pulling him apart? How do we dissect that from just the culture? Like it wasn't the culture that gave him low self-esteem, right? It was the household in which he grew up in
Mm,
that gave him that.
mm-hmm,
So so I think we need to distinguish that because the culture just guides how you spend your money, right?
mm-hmm,
Culture has a lot to do with how you spend your money. So he could be some white boy in Colorado and he spent all his money skiing because that's the white boy culture up in Colorado. They go to skiing every weekend. He didn't spend all his money on skiing and snowboarding and stuff like that every weekend, but he was empty inside. So culture guides what you're going to do. If you're going to be this white boy in Colorado, or you're going to be an NFL player spending your money, God knows whatever you're doing. But I think the real issue for me is, do you have this validation and are
I,
you empty
I
inside?
I do agree with that. I mean,
Yeah.
as a black male, as a 53-year-old black male who was once a 23-year-old black male,
Mhm.
I can tell you that you have to really know who you are in order to confront and reject the culture. Because
Mhm.
if you look at guys like D1, who's been doing a wonderful job of confronting the toxicity of hip hop culture and the bad decisions that lead to the outcomes that you're watching Diddy experience right now, D1 had to really be clear about who he is.
Mhm.
And he
Right.
had to stand up to a lot of brothers. There are a lot of black men that will
Yeah.
fight you. Like, oh, you a punk, you a simp, you a weak ass more. You know what I mean? Like really come at you. And you have to be able to look them in the eye and say, I ain't scared of none of y'all. Like, I don't
Mhm.
need all this external validation that you need where you gotta fit into a bunch of BS. I'm not doing that because I see dozens of black men in front of me who are being destroyed by the liquor, being destroyed by the drugs, being destroyed by
Mhm.
the irresponsible sex, being destroyed by the financial irresponsibility, being destroyed by the criminal behavior. I don't want no parts of that. And you have to be strong enough to stand up. So you're right. The self-esteem kicks in where
Right.
you got to know who the hell you are. Because if you're looking to a goofy rapper or an athlete or other people around you to
Mhm.
tell you who you are, then you're going to end up going down shit's creek like them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you're right. It is a self-esteem
You have
thing.
to be okay. You have to be okay with yourself. On a Friday night, I'm gonna spend time with things that adhere to my values, which is maybe I'll spend time with my children, all those 8 kids you got, or whatever, all those kids you have. Maybe spend time with them, hang out with them, do things that make you feel like you're going to be a nice, strong figure in their life so that you can present a household that's loving for those children. Those kids want their father with them. They
Mhm.
need their father. It's required. You need your father with you.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, you think about it. Even, look at how much flack Russell Simmons, or not Russell Simmons,
Who was it?
Russell Wilson gets.
Oh, what a wonderful
I
man.
mean, he married Sierra. He's
Uh-huh.
taking care of his kids, and he's taking care of the child created by an irresponsible dude, Future the rapper, who's part of that culture of not taking care of his children. He every Mother's Day he does a tweet thanking all his baby's mamas for holding it down for him,
Oh
right?
my
Which is
gosh.
ridiculous. That's like saying thank you for taking care of my responsibility because I'm clearly irresponsible. And it's funny you think about it, look at how many black dudes online were calling him a simp. Russell
He's
Wilson.
married to Sierra. Ain't no way he's a simp.
Well,
Like
right.
Sierra
Well,
is beautiful and
right.
talented
And on
and
top of that, Russell
yeah.
Wilson is a strong man. He's athletic.
Yes.
He can whoop any of those dudes' asses. But you got these little punks calling him a simp. Same thing happened to Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark is a he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he made a comment regarding black women. And
Oh, really?
he was confronting that white comedian who made that joke about black women.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
and I
I
looked in the
remember that.
comments and people were calling him soft, right? So what's happened is that for a lot of these men, because they were not shown what manhood looks like, they think a man is soft if he's responsible. They think a man is soft if he loves his woman. They think a man is soft if he protects his family. They think a man is soft if he makes intelligent, responsible decisions. And that's just so backward.
No,
And I'm sorry, I blame toxic hip hop culture, which was created by the Clive Davises of the world.
oh my
I think
gosh.
their goal was
Yeah.
I really think that their goal was to make black men backward. Like
Yes.
create something and turn us into something that we're not. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you blame toxic hip hop culture for it all. I think these individuals have issues with their mother. They have mama issues, issues with women. I think I'm looking at it. I don't disagree with because I think it's multifaceted, the issues that you're bringing up, but I do have to get into the interpersonal, the psychology behind it. There's maybe some anger to me to be able to say something like to not to get angry at a man for standing up for a woman, to get angry at that man, then there is some internal hatred toward women.
Hmm.
It's a hatred toward women, and that has to come with what has your experiences been with women. Like, I just get into the psychology of it. If you've had nice, healthy experiences with your mother or with women in general, you're not going to go out and spew all this terrible comments and then get angry at somebody for sticking up for women. It makes me feel like maybe you were betrayed by some woman in your background. You didn't deal with those issues very well. You didn't connect with those feelings and you just have all this anger in you.
Yeah.
That's what I see. And anger for that person who didn't stand up for you like they should have. Like abuse happens so much in households by your mother or father, and you're angry with the other parent for not stepping in and protecting you. You have anger toward your parent for what you feel, or with a lot of cases, abusing you. It's that interpersonal, what was going on in that household? That's the question always in the back of my mind. What happened in that household? And I am thinking about that in terms of Puff Daddy and her and his children. What happens in that household?
Well, nobody knows. Nobody knows. I mean,
That little
it's
baby, I saw a 1-year-old little baby, and I'm like, who has custody of this little baby and what's happening in that household?
well, in Diddy's house, they took the baby's passport because they don't want the baby to flee.
Well, that baby needs to go somewhere, somewhere safe. Like, what happened?
Well, it is what it is. All right, so everybody, you're watching Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. This is my wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins, and we like to lay against our pillows and just have conversations about all different interesting topics that relate to the Black community. And we, if you want to get a copy of my book, Financial Love Making, feel free to go to boyceandalicia.com. That's boyceandalicia.com. Also, Dr. Alicia is going to start doing Mental Health Mondays starting this Monday. So, because I hope we agree that everybody can use some therapy, and you've got Black professionals in your community that are smart, that are capable, that can help you live your best life. Really, make good choices, have good relationships. Why you keep torturing yourself? So, if you want to join Mental Health Mondays, it is free, 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 free. Can't get cheaper than that. Get on the text list, and we will text you when we do Mental Health Mondays on Monday night. So, text the word love to the number 87948. Text love to 87948. And also, Dr. Alicia is going to join us at the All Black National Convention, which is going to be
Yes.
in Lombard, Illinois, right outside of Chicago. And we're going to get together with all these Black experts from all different walks of life and just really help our community. We're going to have panels, breakout sessions on everything from crypto to fitness to anything in between, family, how to build a strong family, the Black church's role in Black economics. We're going to talk about real estate, how to be a great real estate investor, how to trade stocks, how to sell stock options. We got thousands of students in the Black Business School, by the way, who are making a killing selling stock options. This is not hocus pocus. My PhD's in finance. I feel like I know I can help you. And so if you are interested in that kind of thing, you can also text the word money to the number 87948. Text money to 87948, and we can get you started. All right. So anyway, I'm going to let Dr. Alicia make her last comment, and they're going to bounce out. So we were talking about Adrian Peterson, right? And so Adrian has, and somebody brought this up in the chat, babe. I want to ask you about this.
What they
So,
bring up?
so Adrian Peterson, former NFL player, is in the news right now because a lot of his assets got repossessed because he could not pay off a $12 million loan. He ran through $100 million. He's got 8 kids with 6 women, which means he's probably got a lot of complications in his life that are really difficult. If Adrian came into your office and Adrian was sitting with you and you were working with him, what would you say to him now? Like he's in the middle of it, right? He's lost his money. His maybe his kids are starting to feel a little bit of pressure because they don't have the support of their dad the way they want. They can't see him as much as they want. He's under a lot of stress. He can't play football anymore. Where would you start a conversation with him about, just choices?
Again, he has the choice. So I would say, what is the most pressing thing happening right now with you? I know there's a lot going on, but where do you want to start? Like I don't. It's so funny because when I have somebody in my office, I rarely say anything. I'm very talkative on this when we do our pillow talks, but if you make an appointment with me, I don't say much. I say very little, and I usually don't really give advice. I just say, what are your choices? What are the consequences of those choices? And are you okay with those choices and its consequences? And we will go forward. So really, the clients really lead a lot of it. I help guide them. So if he comes in and he say, I want to get my financial life back together, and I would say, okay, then here are some things you need to do. You need to gather everything together, get your money together, figure out where you've spent it. For a lot of people, even when we were doing those classes together, you can create a financial diary. Everything that you spent money on, you can write it down and on one side of the paper, and then the next side of the paper, write down how did you feel when you spent that money and you made that decision to buy those things. So connecting his
Mm.
behavior with his feelings and with what was going through his head. What was he thinking about? Making the connection between thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. It's a lot of insight can come from that.
Wow, that's really
Yeah.
powerful stuff. Okay, thank you.
Hmm.
I'll just end with this. I wish Adrian the best. He gave us a lot of good years in the NFL. I admire him as an athlete. I'm hoping he's a great dad. I don't know that I can confirm that, but I'm not going to assume that he's not. Um, I understand that he overspent his money. We've all done it. I mean, a lot of us have, man. I can only imagine getting that much money
Yeah.
at that early of an age, and I hate that. I wish I could build him a time machine. I wish I could have given him mentorship during that stage of his life. So to help him understand the opportunities being wasted. Because in class this morning when we do economic elevation, financial consciousness training, which we do every morning for free, I was telling everybody what the word poor means. And a lot of my students know that when I say, what does poor stand for? And they know that it stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. And I want you to sit back for a minute, everybody, and think about all the great black male athletes we've had who have made insane, ridiculous amounts of money, who have lost it all, right? Who just lost everything. Think about every rapper who lost it all. Diddy's about to lose 1 billion, and I want you to just think about all the opportunities you have. Every time somebody has $100 million contract, that's their opportunity to become a billionaire. Just with a little bit of balance, a little bit of financial intelligence, not much, not nearly as much skill as was required to be the star running back for the Minnesota Vikings. That money Adrian Peterson made could have made his family a $1 billion family by the time he died. And I'm just trying to figure out who's stopping the process. You can't say it's the white man doing it. I mean, sure, they're influencing us in unfair ways with they're using their money to control our culture, but people like me are out here. There are black men and black women out here who could look at that and say, "Come on, bro, look, you're getting $8 million. I will let you spend six. Just take that last two. The first six, blow it. Do what you want to do with it. Throw it in the toilet. Whatever you want to do. The last two, put that in an investment account so you can build that generational wealth." And if you do that consistently, son, you're going to have hundreds of millions of dollars. And then you can really have big parties. And then you really could, theoretically, you really could fly in all your friends for a birthday party if you want to. I mean, really, think about it, babe. Michael Jordan, if Michael Jordan flew everybody, Michael Jordan
He
has
wouldn't. He's not the kind of person to
he
do
wouldn't
that.
do it because he's kind of a selfish SOB, but still though, and I'm like I know Larry Miller who ran the Jordan brand, so I'm not going to be mean to Mike. But Michael, right now, Michael, if Michael had wanted to have a party, Michael could go get 10 private jets and fly in 1,000 people. He could do that and still not even miss a beat with his finances because the man makes probably $10 million a day, 5 million a day, some crazy amount of money. Maybe it's 2 million. I don't know, but it's enough where he could do that, right? So you build that wealth, then you can do those things. So I don't even think I'm not even going to clown him doing what he did for his birthday party. What I am saying is that you sometimes you put the cart before the horse. Like I want everybody to think about wealth, a balanced, wealthy life to be like eating a healthy meal. When people say, "Oh, the reason you're obese is because you keep eating that chocolate cake," well, let's just be clear. There's nothing wrong with chocolate cake. There are lots of healthy people who eat chocolate cake. The problem is when you eat the chocolate cake before you eat your vegetables. You can't eat a whole cake before you start on the green beans. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Give me a yes if you get what I'm saying. Because it's important for us to get this to just know you can enjoy your money, but you cannot enjoy your money at the expense of all the things all the healthy things that money can do for you. So anyway, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. If you'd like a free e-copy, I have a book called Financial Lovemaking. You can get a free copy by going to boyceandalicia.com. Also, if you want to join Dr. Alicia for Mental Health Mondays, it's totally free. Just text the word love to 87948. Are you going to do a StreamYard? You're doing StreamYard, right?
I'm doing streaming. I'm also doing my book club tomorrow. And tomorrow we're doing chapter 3 of how to be an adult in relationships. And it's
Oh.
chapter 3 is all about how to find a mate.
Oh, well,
I
then,
cannot
hey,
wait to
you
to
know what?
dive into that
Yes,
tomorrow.
yes, yes. I love that. That's good. So many people need help with that. We keep forgetting that there's like black professionals who can help you fix your life.
Yeah.
It ain't just Ayanna Van Zant. Ayanna Van Zant is smart.
Oh my gosh, she's so
She can give you a
good.
nice sermon,
But
but
she's not a therapist.
right, and they're right, and the thing is that people forget that there are real therapists that know real science on how to fix these things. So stop trying to do it by yourself. Get some help. And money ain't the barrier. You just gotta go. Don't You ain't gotta pay money. Just pay attention. So text the word love to 87948, and we'll send you an invitation to Dr. Alicia's book club. You can get to know her and connect and see what her and her therapist friends are all about. I know I'm excited about it. I've learned a lot. I'm gonna say this publicly. I have learned a lot being your husband. Did you know that?
Really?
Yes.
You don't push against all my little liberal progressive things that I say.
I push against everything because it's weird, but I listen and I think about it, and because I consider myself a relative decently smart man. I think smart means being humble and listening and learning and trying to explore ideas that are different from your own. So
Uh-huh.
not everything passes my smell test, but there's a lot of stuff where I look back and I'm like, okay, I think that I'm gonna try this because what I've been trying has not been working. Right. And so learning little things from your therapist friends has helped me to communicate with others better. It helps me connect with the children. It helps me understand myself better. I'm a happier person because of that. So I encourage
Oh,
everybody to
really?
explore these tools. Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna record this because next time you talk about me, I'm gonna play this little clip.
I know, right? I know.
Remind you what you
You're
said.
gonna get a fight with me. You know me. You know, yeah, but you can't fight with your mental health patients. I'm your patient. You can't fight with your patients.
Oh my God.
Anyway, y'all take care. Have a good day. God bless you. And again, text love to 87948. And also, if you want that free training on how to make money without working, some of you are asking about stock options. That's my thing. My PhD's in finance. In case you don't know, just text the word money to 87948, and I'll send you a free training I have called How to Make Money Without Working. This is not hype. I'm not making this up. There really are people that make money without going to work every day. So get off that corporate plantation, go live your destiny. Talk to you guys soon. Love you. Peace.